I peeled and cut this fruit last night, even when I didn't feel like it, because it made my life easier today. Sometimes I try to eat only fruit, because when I eat heavier things, I find them hard to digest. And with papaya, it's easy because it's almost like a meat in some ways. I have to go to work. And do I love my job? No. But I think today it's going to be easier because I did my morning pages. I went to a yoga class. I drank tea. And I went to the farmer's market. Those are all fun things. And afterwards, I'm going to the beach and I'm having a bonfire with my friends. I didn't realize. Is that what I want? A few days ago, I was sad that I felt like very alone and misunderstood. And so I decided to reach out to people, and people decided to reach out to me, and it all kind of worked out. And so I'm introducing two people who I'm friends with, but who they haven't met, but I have a feeling they'll get along. And so I'm excited about that. And I kind of want to move to London, but I don't know if that's just because I'm reading Harry Potter. And I'm almost done with the series, which makes me a little bit sad. But honestly, I know that everything unfolds for my higher good, but at this point in time, I have no, plan that would make it easy to move to London unless I got a scholarship to go to school there or I started being a stripper. And I'm not sure I want to do that. But I feel like being a woman in this day and age, almost everyone has probably thought of it. And I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I just don't know if that would be good for my soul. And yeah, but it is something I think about. I think because it's like a way to just make a large amount of money. And I don't really like being an employee. Feels weird talking about it on the internet though, because I'm worried that I'm gonna be a therapist or start working with kids and then they're gonna pull this video out of context from 5 years later. Because I read this article about this girl who became a stripper in Mexico because she was stranded with no money, and in Mexico it was more common to do sex work, so sex work was entailed, and she ended up staying in the industry for a while, and she just spoke openly about it years later. She had her credentials and stuff, but she could no longer work with kids because she openly talked about it, which I dislike. But she had a career in writing to fall back on, so it all worked out for her. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Really, the only reason I want to be a stripper is to fund my pole dancing hobby, because it is expensive. I think it'll be less expensive once I'm in a space where I can have my own pole, but as of right now, I'm not. And so I'm taking a break from pole dancing to do daily yoga classes because they're more consistent for me and more affordable and as close to where I live. And so I'm gonna build up the strength for a month and then go back to pole dancing. In a perfect world, I would be able to do yoga classes and pole dancing, and I'll get there. But I think like my pole studio opens at 3 p.m. and I'm looking, for things that are in the morning so that I have a reason to get up early. And like when I book my yoga classes for a week at like 7 a.m., I have no choice but to get up, because if you don't get up and like show up, it's a $20 like no-show fee. So yeah. I'm burning my journal today because I saw someone do it, and ever since I've just been doing it. When I eat, I try to breathe into my stomach to like check in and make sure I'm still hungry. That being said, yoga. Oh, I'm burning my journal, and so I did want to keep some stuff in there because I've been writing more like little spurts of poetry lately. And I hadn't used this journal for like 2 or 3 months, and it's half filled, so it's kind of funny that I'm already burning it, but it just needs to be burned. And where's my boombox? Oh, okay. My shoulder feels warm because the sun's shining on it. So I'm like trying to feel my shoulder. It feels so good. God, I have to pee. But yeah, so I took a picture of like the poems I want to keep, and I typed out like half of them, and I'm going to make a poetry book. I don't know when I'm gonna publish it, who, what, why, but I don't need to figure that out right now. I just need to type it. I probably have like 10 poems already, and I'll probably put some more in there. But I will say that I have to pee. I did it this morning in my favorite coffee shop, 10 Speed Coffee, and I really like it because there's a creek next to it. But I got a matcha, and they have a seasonal strawberry latte, so I was like, hey, can you mix those? They were able to do that for me, and it's a really good place. I did pay $10 for a 20-ounce matcha latte with oat milk and maple and the strawberry, but I had matcha at this other place that was $7, and it was a sorry excuse for a matcha. And I think it's because they didn't whisk it by hand like each and every time. It's like they had like the matcha in a bottle, and it just wasn't the vibe. I almost like went back and I asked for a refund, but I was like, no, it's $7, you're gonna be okay. And like part of life and being on this planet is like experiencing restaurants, like taking the risk of paying for something to see whether or not you like it. And so I just learned to never go there again. Actually, I feel bad for the workers because I know they tried their best to make my drink, but it just seemed like it was hard to keep up with the demand of how many people were there. You know, like, I feel like honestly Starbucks probably is like that too sometimes, unless they're fully staffed. But that's kind of why I like smaller coffee shops better. It might take longer, but usually there's more care. Not always. But yeah, I went to La La Land Kind Cafe. And you can at me. I don't care. But it just wasn't the best thing I ever ate. I ever drank. I'm starting to make my own matcha at home. I got the whisk and the powder, and it's been good. But I want to make an iced matcha latte. But I share the fridge with 3 other people, and it's like a family. Like, I'm staying with family friends. It's not like roommates, and there's like no room for ice in the freezer. But I want to make an iced matcha latte. My other dilemma is that I make my own oat milk or like nut milk, and I'm getting there, but it separates a lot. And I tried making an iced matcha latte. It was my first time ever, and I was so excited. But I think the milk went bad because it tasted so bad. And like, I don't know. Right now I've just been making hot matcha without the milk because the other people who live there, they have oat milk and almond milk, but there is some oils in them, and I am a bit of an emotional eater, so I'm trying to avoid oils. No hate to oil. Also, I don't trust Brita water filters. That's the water filter that's currently in the house. So I have my own water bottle that filters the water through the straw. So if I make my own oat and almond milk, I either have to use the Brita water, buy water, or I have to sip it through the straw and spit it back out. But I'm gonna figure it out. I have to pee. Good talking to you.